Hello, Joe here from Infiniti of Tacoma. Today I'm going to tell you about this awesome 2015 Mustang GT convertible that we have for sale. We recently took this one on trade. One awesome drop top pony car. 2015 is a fantastic year for the Mustang because it got a complete ground up redesign. The previous Mustang, the previous generation Mustang, was kind of improved and updated, but the 2015 really marks a big departure in Mustang construction. Well, not Mustang, but Ford, when they were developing this particular generation of the Mustang, they wanted a true world car. I can't talk today. They wanted a true world car that would not just appeal to people in the US market, but also appeal to people in a European market. Well, some car buyers, I guess you could say, in the European market might be a little bit more sophisticated than us here Americans. You know, for a while, you know, just a big Mustang with a big V8, rear-wheel drive and a solid rear axle, giving you awesome straight line performance was good enough for our Americans. But the Europeans, they want something a little bit more sophisticated in their sports cars. So when Mustang went to the drawing board in developing this particular generation of the Mustang, had a rear independent suspension. The previous Mustangs, aside from special edition, you know, I think that maybe some of the Shelby Cobras had an independent rear suspension, but all the previous GT regular Mustangs had a solid rear axle, which goes back, you know, to the old days of performance cars. But when it comes to handling, going around corners and stuff like that, four-wheel independent suspension generally by most is considered a big improvement. And for sure, after the car magazines got their hands on these things, they're very, very impressed by the handling and performance that this thing offers. Having that independent rear suspension also allows it to squat a little bit lower. You know, you had kind of a higher rear end corners with the solid rear axle, just the way the vehicle is designed. It kind of had a little bit more of a larger rear on it. So this is a little bit more chiseled, a little bit more ground hugging in its appearance, which you'll see when we go towards the outside. But straight line performance is still here in spades. Still has that Coyote V8 from the older Mustangs, but in 2015 they got more power out of it, 435 horsepower. And this one actually, this has 121,726 miles. It's in beautiful shape for the miles. Everything works, runs and drives great. It looks and drives like it has 50,000 miles on it. It just goes to show you, you know, how well built these things are. You know, I remember, you know, 30, 40, you know, 50 years ago, there was a reason why most odometers would reset to zero after 99,999 miles, because most cars wouldn't make it past 100,000 miles. But the days are different. This thing seems like it has lots of life left in it. I could see, if a carrying owner, there's no reason why this thing could not go another 100,000 miles. 435 horsepower V8. Beautiful perforated leather interior, heated and air conditioned seats, keyless ignition with push button start. We have a drive mode selector. You use that button to change steering effort, so you have a normal, sport, and comfort. And this is a drive mode selector: sport, sport plus, and track mode. Great navigation system. We also have a rear parking camera. Coyote engine sounds amazing. And still runs butter smooth with 121,000 miles on it. All season mats. The interior's in pretty good shape too, considering the miles. Sometimes, you know, cars with 120,000 miles can have kind of beat up interiors, but the interior is holding up very nicely on this one. It has a smart proximity key, so it's just tooting at me, just reminding me, hey, in case you forget, I'm still running, so just don't walk away and forget to shut me off. Has a great sound system. There's a subwoofer for that shaker sound system. And you can see talking about the rear end quarters with that independent rear suspension, it just kind of squats and hugs the ground a little bit lower. Where the previous generation, if you looked at the rear end, it was a little bit larger, higher up off the ground, just because they had that big solid rear axle on there. So just the construction of it just didn't allow space for it to sit down as low. So it has a little lower, more stance look to it versus in the previous generation Mustang. Looks great in white. Front end styling is very nice as well. We have some great promotions going on right now. Complimentary delivery to pretty much anywhere in Washington and Oregon. We can put this in our car hauler, we can tow it to you. We can print up all the paperwork over our mobile delivery service. this beautiful Mustang GT can be all yours without leaving your neighborhood. There's that awesome Coyote V8, 435 horsepower. This thing is an absolute rocket ship. Amazing performance, 400 horsepower. Man, 20 years ago, you know, cars that were 400 horsepower were like high performance supercars, not Mustangs. But man, to have a 435 horsepower daily driver, it's pretty impressive. An amazing engine, sounds wonderful, very smooth. There's nothing like the sound of a big American V8. Thank you so much for taking the time today to watch this video. Oh, I'm forgetting one thing before I'm jumping the gun here. Let's put the top down. Obviously, you know, convertibles look their best with the top in the down position, no exception for this one. Really easy to use. You twist this handle right there, and that releases it. Then you have this button, and then it goes up and down really fast. Man, it takes like 5 seconds. And you know what? Springtime's coming. It's kind of a nice day today. Think about how nice I'll be driving around, unobscured by a top. And you can just hear that V8 music a little bit better, and a wonderful open air driving experience in this beautiful GT Mustang convertible. There we go. Look how beautiful this thing looks with the top down. And again, very impressive how this Mustang's holding up with 121,000 miles. This is actually the first of this particular generation Mustang that I've seen with over 100,000 miles on the odometer, and I'm really impressed how well it's holding up. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope to see you soon and have a wonderful day.